Greetings and welcome to the hottest series on IG Live, the hottest show on IG Live. That's the Mo Today series on Black Muslim businesses. And I'm so excited today that we're going to be talking to our sister, young mogul, Naya Sai. She'll be joining us in a few minutes. Greetings, Assalamu alaikum, Charlize Mighty joined. Couple things I just want to remind you of. Make sure you go out, get your commemorative Elijah coin, support the renovation and restoration of the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The link is in the bio. Okay. What else am I going to tell you? We got some really cool He Lives merchandise that's coming out. The t-shirts are already out. Click the link in the bio to get those too. And join us Saturday for the Sajdah Saturday morning coffee talks. We're going to talk about cancel culture. That's what we're going to talk about. All right. That's what's on the agenda for this week. So assalamu alaikum. Let's see. We see Charlize Mighty. I see Brother Jamil has joined us. Yes, he lives. He absolutely lives. And let me tell you, he lives and is busy. I'm not even going to go into it because I know y'all already think I'm crazy, but he lives. He's busy. He's around. So welcome. What we do on the Mind of an Entrepreneur show is really promote and discuss, not really, but promote and discuss mental strategies that help marginalized people navigate the world of business. It's an offshoot of my book. If you don't have this, you can get it on Amazon. There's also, I believe, a link in the bio for this as well. Other volumes are coming out soon. I started the show back in 2009, and where we bring on guests and things like that. I see my sister has joined us. We're going to bring her on in about 5 minutes. We give a few other people time to get into the room. Greetings, everyone. Assalamu alaikum, Queen Astrid 220. And Sister Naya is here. So the deal is to make sure that we, sorry about that, we share mental strategies for helping us to navigate the world of business. My goal is to help us be happier, healthier, wealthier, and experience more love. And I started this back in 2009. My father passed. And he was a big reason why I wanted to be a mogul and an entrepreneur. He really supported that from when I was a very young person. He would really encourage my mind as far as business is concerned. My mom brought me the Kiplinger Financial News Report every week, and I read that and studied that. And I just wanted to start the show because I had been in a space of struggle, and I had started to realize that this is an ongoing process. We never get it done. It's never over with. And in my idea, I wanted to learn how to be a powerful creator and a powerful manifester. So I started talking to as many entrepreneurs as I can. And that was cool too. Peace 19 Rush 95. But what I learned is that the real gift is in giving. And so what I learned is that when I'm in need, I give. Mrs. Phoenix 91, welcome. And that became the impetus for the show, just giving away free game. Because when I was coming up in business, and even now, as I'm working to move to other levels, larger international levels, people withhold game. They withhold information. They will know exactly who you should call and what you could do to navigate the world of business, to solve your problem. And guess what? They will not tell you. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make it my business to give away game, and I'll charge for services. And it went from that to the very popular show at that time was on Blog Talk Radio, to then syndicated radio on Radio 1, broadcast around the world, to now building my own network and platform. And we're working on the shows that are going to come out of that network. And I'm just really grateful for your continued support. So click the link in the bio and explore. There's lots of different ways for you to support individual projects that I'm working on. You can listen to past episodes of the Mind of an Entrepreneur show. I found some throwback shows from 2009 where I was digging deep into the master key system. And that's part of what we're going to tackle on the next book that I've been tweaking and tinkering with. And we're just, we're just going to continue to go from there. So I'm going to invite my sister out in. So see, sis, if you can request to join Sister Naya, I would appreciate that. Ronell Tolliver, let's see, a student joined us. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming on board. Let's see. Let me look for my sister and bring her. There she is. All right, so we just invited her to join, and we'll see if she comes in. And we also are going to do some incredible series. I have a webinar series coming up. There's my sister. We got a webinar series coming up, some emotional intelligence series. But right now, we're about to talk to our young mogul, one of my favorite sisters, Sister Naya Tai. How are you? Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, and doing wonderful. How are you, Sister Sajdah?
I'm wonderful. I cannot complain at all. I'm so excited to talk to you today. And I know, I promise you all that when you all come on the show, some of you all know that I just adopt all these young entrepreneurs. And so I'm going to try not to gush like, that's my baby, but I feel like that.
I'm honored to be on here with you today. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Sister Naya, when I started out in business, it was a lonely road. And to an extent today, it's still a lonely road. But what I want to do to give back is to make it not so lonely for you all. So you have somebody that you can call. I am here for you. You know that. You know I'm your auntie. I'm here for you. If you need anything, if you have a question, if you say, hey, I just want to expand, or I'm just trying to wrap my head around a concept, whatever it is, you have somebody to reach out to. And for so many of us, when we started out, we didn't have that. And I think we can shorten that learning curve by reaching back and being more communal with one another so that, you get access to the game. You don't have to go to somebody else. You can say, I know how to get access to the game. You pick up the phone and you can call me at any time. So that's my goal, is to be that for you, to shorten that learning curve, because I know you got a lot going on. I want you to tell everybody all the stuff you got doing and everything you're juggling. You remind me of myself because you do so much that people can't figure out what you do.
Yes, ma'am. I do a lot. But I really appreciate it, Sister Sajdah, because starting a business, I knew it was not going to be easy, but it's proved itself to be even harder than I ever thought that it could be, because you have to consider all of these different factors, especially when it's a farming business, a fresh produce business. How are you going to transfer these goods from all the way over here to all the way over there, keeping them fresh? And there's just so many different things that you have to think about. And I really appreciate you helping us, especially, young entrepreneurs, because a lot of the times we don't have someone to help us. And so when there is someone like an auntie like you, it's just so nice. And I thank Allah for you, because you're just a beautiful soul, and I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. And we almost wore the same colors today. Tell me what's been hard in your business. I know you're juggling a lot. You're an architectural student. You got a couple of businesses. So let's start out by just telling the audience what businesses you have, and then we'll move into some of the challenges that you've had.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. So the business that I'm working with is called eProduce. eProduce is short for Eternally Embracing Earth. And this is a fresh produce business. It is for the community. It's a local fresh produce business where we provide fruits and veggies. Eggs are coming soon, so is honey. But yeah, so it's a local fresh produce business for the Black and brown community, because in Chicago and many other places, we don't have Black-owned grocery stores. So our goal is to provide us with what we need so we can keep the money in our community.
So how can people get some of that produce? Because I want to make sure they understand, is it a farmer's market? Do they order it from you online? What's the basis of the distribution?
Yes, ma'am. So we're still trying to work everything out, but this upcoming year, 2022, we will have some produce in some farmers markets.
Okay.
But we mainly want to have our customers directly like reach out to us, and we provide like monthly baskets. So they can let us know what specifically they want, like if they want a whole bunch of zucchini, if they want 2 dozen eggs. We're trying to have it that way so that we sell to our community first, because at farmers market you can just sell to whoever comes up to you. But we want to specifically target our community first. But
are you growing the fruits and vegetables yourself and harvesting them yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're in the agribusiness for real.
Yes, we have my business partner, Amira Mohammed, her family actually has land in Michigan, and they allowed us to have a portion of it to use for e-produce. And so, yeah, so we're back and forth in Michigan and Chicago, because I also trying to grow some things here, some herbs so we can dry them, and just small things in Chicago, but in Michigan, yes, ma'am.
So if you need business coaching session, we can do that. I graduated from Iowa State University, and a lot of people don't know that Iowa State University is really called Iowa State University of Science and Agriculture.
Oh.
And so we even as I started out as an engineering major, but even as a business major and finance major, the way it was back then, our degrees were more technical, and we had to take some classes in agribusiness. And so we had a very large international community of agricultural students who came over to study agriculture. So maybe I can dust off some of that knowledge and see what I can do to be of assistance. So tell us what else you do.
That would be absolutely wonderful, Sister Sajdah. I would definitely appreciate that.
Well, Sister Kadisa's on here. I'll have her reach out to you to set up a free coaching session for you and your business partner.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Besides e-produce, as you were saying, I'm a full-time student in the College of Architecture. I'm in my 3rd year, so after this I'll be a senior and I'll get my bachelor's. I do so many things I sometimes forget.
I know you do. I know you do. That's why I'm making you go through them, because you're a lot like me, where people say, well, what do you do? And then I say, okay, and then oh yeah, but that's okay, because what I want to help you to do is, and let me say it this way, Sister Naya, when I started out, I felt like I had to pick a lane. And even though these other lanes were developing, I was very schizophrenic in that I was never able to be myself and flow through my lanes. Like, people knew that I could decorate and design. So I had those people. And then I started falling victim to other people outside of me deciding which Wendy or which Sajdah they liked, right? And so then I would be that person to that. And then after a certain point in time, I just said, I'm going to monetize who I am, and I'm going to be my whole self, and I'm not going to let you pigeonhole me. That's just who. So that's why I called you a young mogul, because that's what my father used to call me, because he said you can do it all, and you should do it all. And so I want you to talk a little bit. I know we'll get into some of the other things that you do, but I want to go into mindset just to make sure you're strong, because that's one of the biggest challenges of creative business people like us. We can't figure out who to be.
Yeah. That's so very true. I have to think about that often. I'm like, is this more important than this? Like, do I enjoy this more than I do this? And it's just so many different things. But I like to dibble and dabble. I like to have a taste of it all. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Tell me some things you like to dibble and dabble in. I won't call it your different businesses, but what other stuff do you dibble and dabble in? Let's say it that way.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Well, I like to make jewelry. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
make anything that I have on right now, but I do like to make jewelry. I
Mm-hmm.
like to do arts and crafts. I like to use my hands.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an architecture major, so obviously I make models. I enjoy making the models.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do resin crafts. I love to cook.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to teach myself how to dry flowers so that
Mm-hmm.
I can use those for different crafts as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm really into fashion, so I love putting together different pieces. That's extremely fun to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, oh, decorating. Decorating.
Mm-hmm. I was waiting on that one. I said, she.
Yeah, you have to see my car. I decorated my car. It's
The last
blue.
time I saw your car, it didn't look decorated.
The inside is decorated. I didn't decorate the outside.
Okay. Okay. Got
Mhm.
it.
So
Okay.
the inside is blue. I have like blue fuzzy things and blue butterflies and flowers in here all over
Mm-hmm.
the place.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, ma'am, I just love to touch into my creative side and just whenever I'm feeling it and just do something, express myself in some way.
How do you know what you want to do at this moment? So let's say you say, I feel like decorating my car. What inspired that? Where'd that come from?
It's a good question. Um, I think I just recognize my car. I still live with my family, and I recognize my car as my own personal space. One of the only things that I actually own. And so it's like, this is mine. I can do with it what I would like. And so I took it from there and I decided that I was going to decorate it and make it look pretty.
Let me tell you a trick that'll help open you up a little bit. What I realized, Sister Naya, was that I'm addicted to that creative energy that comes from Allah. I love how it feels. So if I'm designing or creating, and then for me, I do it more in a lot of space of real estate in terms of decorating my home or my yard or what I wear. But I realized that what I love and what I've loved since I was a child was that openness that I feel when I'm creating, because I feel like I'm connected then to Allah. I feel like I can feel Him in those moments. And you know what I had to learn to say to myself? And that's okay. It's okay. And then I said, you know what? If He lets me feel Him in all these different turns and all these different ways in which I get to know Him, then He's going to help me monetize it. And as much as I love it, I'm going to be very wealthy. And I said that to myself, and I made it okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So think about that. If you like decorating your car, that's okay. If you decide, you know what, if you have, sometimes this is what I would do. When I was living in an apartment and I started feeling the bug like I wanted to decorate somebody's yard, I would just go to my friends' houses, decorate. They come home, and I remember one time Minister Ishmael and his wife at the time, they were gone. I had put sunflower seeds in the back of their house and big sunflowers were growing. They were like, what's wrong with this girl? But once she didn't ask us for permission. You can come to my yard and decorate if you just feel it and nobody else will let you. Because I understand. I understand that. And so going into that space and being okay, because that's where Allah communicates with Naya. One of the ways in that space.
That's true. Yes, ma'am. That's a beautiful way to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do sometimes do that, like around the house. I will just add random decorations around. My mother was not too pleased because I was planting in the front yard and I planted a fruit bush out there. And she was like, I was gonna have this professionally done. Why would you just go up there and do that? And I was like, it needed to be done.
You like,
So
I felt it.
I did it.
Naya, what questions do we? I think we know each other so well. We probably can just talk back and forth and giggle all session. But what questions have you not asked me, or that you would like to ask, that you think we could talk about today, and that would be a benefit to the audience? Because everybody knows Naya. She's put together. She's beautiful. We see her on the rostrum. And we think, oh, that sister got it going on. She got it together. She can't possibly have any questions or problems. But we do.
Well, all praises to Allah. I try to hold myself together as well as I possibly can. But I definitely struggle. Like at the moment, I'm the president of AIAS, which is the American Institute of Architecture students at my school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also the student director for the Midwest region of AIA, which is the professional chapter of the American Institute of Architects.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also helping to run a newly founded organization called ID9, which stands for Divine Essence in You, which is an organization for sisters only, uplifting sisters, recognizing your value, your self-worth, you know, learning to respect yourself and whatnot. And so I struggle balancing my time. And then when I actually do have time for something, I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I just need to, you know, sit here and unwind
Mm-hmm.
and relax. But I have struggled with my time management.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to also plan for this season for e-produce, you know, when to plant, what to plant, how we're going to set up our ways to sell and whatnot. But so I guess I just have questions about time management. When you just have so many things going on, how can you, I guess, create a schedule for yourself? And
No,
actually,
I understand. So you heard what I started off saying, that you want to look at your creative journey as your way of communicating with Allah. What begins to happen is that He starts to use you more and more. And then you have all these other little things. So you have to deal with the inspiration that comes from Him. Then you have the other things. And I just think I was going to give you another organization to join, but I won't. I literally was. But so, okay. So what I learned to do was I project manage myself. So I'm a project, and I put together my stakeholders. I put together my timeline. I'm very regimented when it comes to my time. I get up early. I'm up at 4. So I have my time for prayer and meditation. I have my time for exercise. My schedule is very, very, it's the way I manage myself. And I keep lists, whether it's in a notebook like this. Sometimes I'm also a writer, so I like to write. So I'll keep lists and where I'll prioritize and go down my list. But I project manage myself. And then I have certain days for certain things, because you do have to sometimes shift into another mindset. Like Fridays is the day that I work on my real estate stuff. So then I know I'm just in construction and real estate mindset on that Friday. And different days are for different things, or different time slots are for different things. So project managing yourself. And eventually, it won't get any better. I just want to tell you that. So just don't resist it and create stress for yourself, because stress is just resistance, right? So it won't get any better, because as Allah realizes that He can use you more and more because you will listen, He will do that. And He will give you bigger and bigger projects and more projects. And you just have to just flow. You just have to continue to flow. But use the tool of project management and project managing yourself, using a calendar, using lists. Your communication strategy has to be focused on identifying stakeholders in whatever assignment. So if you know that with eProduce, your business partner is one of your primary stakeholders, then what you do is you make sure you set aside time for that communication. If you know that with your other businesses that someone else is the primary stakeholder, so your communication strategy is based on the ranking of your stakeholders in that particular business. With yourself being the ultimate stakeholder, so you want to make sure that there's time for yourself each and every day.
Yes, ma'am.
Make sense?
That definitely makes sense, project managing myself. I try to manage myself and what I do, but I'm not going to lie, when it comes to using an actual planner, like the book, I always get them, but I just can't get myself to sit down and write in them. I have to do something on my phone.
Do you carry an iPad or a phone?
Mm-hmm.
So I do it on my phone. So on my phone is my, my calendar. I have project management software that's on my iPad that I can also get on my desktop. And that alerts me when there's different things that I need to do. And I can manage using my calendar. And the things that I write, because for me, because I like handwritten artwork and calligraphy, it's just kind of fun for me to transfer it in a very pretty way to paper, but that may not be your thing. So for me, it's really fun when I create a really beautiful list and I use different colors and different color pens. It just makes me kind of go into it and think about it a little better, because the idea is that you just want to keep the energy flowing. You're really managing your energy using these tools.
Yes, ma'am. That makes sense. And for me, I use different color pens when I'm writing just so that it helps me group things together. But I don't have the best handwriting.
Oh,
So I always prefer to type.
no, so just type it. Just do what works for you. For me, I have really great handwriting. So, and then I like to do calligraphy. I have a calligraphy set and all that. So that's just one of my artistic things. But you just find a way within you. If you don't mind, if you want to type and that's how you got to do it, then that's what you do.
Yes, ma'am.
But you want to project manage yourself. Use your calendar, use your lists, and develop. Even if you don't do a written communication strategy, I suggest that, where you take each project that you're working on, each organization, and you say, what's the primary goal of this project or this organization? And then what's the primary, or who are the primary people or stakeholders that I'm responsible to, or that I need to make sure I stay in communication with? And then, and then you just kind of go from there, making sure that you spend time with yourself, exercising, meditation, prayer. And if you ever feel overwhelmed in the day, there was a point in time where I got so busy where I literally would stop and meditate or pray probably 10, 11 times a day, just to adjust myself. And then I also would take little 5-minute meditative breaks. So when I would sit in my car, if I was driving from client to client, when I'd sit in my car, if it was a safe space, I give myself a 2-minute, just quick meditation, just to recalibrate myself and open myself back up to Allah. Because you can get busy, right? And sometimes you kind of close yourself off. And then I just say, Allah, keep me open. And I stay there, in those 2-minute spaces. That's how you begin to, because what you want to do, because you have so much going on, you want to become a powerful manifester, so that when you put your mind to something, it begins to happen, because you can't continue to change time for results because you got too much going on. So some things got to work because you sent mental energy there.
Mm.
And we can talk about that and practice that later. I'll work with you on that. But some things have to work without you being there and without you putting your hands on it, because you only got 2 hands.
That's true.
So you got to get the magic going.
Yes, ma'am. Sister Sajdah, I have another question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
What helps you to stay motivated and focused on whichever project that you're working on?
Being focused and disciplined is part of my personality. A little bit of OCD. I was always the kind of person growing up, I would take independent classes, in the summer on my own. I'd go to summer school and nobody told me to. If I was in the fifth grade, I was working on eighth grade stuff. That's kind of part of my personality trait is the focus. But what keeps me motivated is looking for Allah in everything. So when I am looking at a project, I'm looking at Allah to the point where now to this day, when I look at things that I'm doing, I laugh because I can go back to when I was 5 years old and I see how Allah was preparing me for what I'm doing right now to this day and moving forward. And so I start looking forward to seeing Him. If I go outside, and I give you an example, we were in the back garden, which we decided to now call it the Garden of Peace, and at Sajdah House. The garden in the front is Elijah's friendship garden. The garden in the back is Elijah's Garden of Peace. We did that because since you all were there, we put up these beautiful trees. And literally the entire atmosphere in the back of the house changed, where all of a sudden the sound quality changed. We had red birds and blue birds. We had a cat that just came and sat there. We had squirrels who were just staring at us. And most people probably weren't paying attention to that. But for me, I enjoyed it because I enjoyed looking at how Allah was responding to the different aspects of Himself that were being placed in this space. And so that keeps me motivated. I'm addicted to that. I love looking at somebody like yourself develop. It just brings me great joy if I'm watching, say, you on a program and I see Allah and I'm looking for Allah. And so that's what keeps me motivated. Otherwise, nothing really is going to motivate you. So there's Allah in love. That's the biggest way that you transfer Him and you can really see Him everywhere is in that space of love and being loving and being giving. And then He just shows up because it's like your vibration just goes so wide that He just comes. And when you get into that wide vibrational space, now you start intentionally manifesting. You start milking the moment and start thinking about what you need while you're in that wide vibrational space. So I look forward to praying because I look forward to being in that space. So that is what keeps me motivated. I love having beautiful things around me. If you come to my house, I'm an art collector. I just love having different things because then I can have different places where I can see Him. And that's what keeps me motivated.
Wow. All praises be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah.
That's so beautiful. I'm going to strive to be more like you, sister.
It just takes time. It just takes time. You just step by step, every day in every way, you'll get better and better and stronger. And the more you look for Allah, the more He shows Himself to you.
That's true.
The more you look for Him, the more He shows Himself, and He'll just show up. He's always there, but it feels like He just shows up. You're like, oh, there you are.
That's so very.
Okay, He's there. Okay, so that's how I stay motivated. That's the real secret. I don't tell everybody that because they go, okay, they start thinking I'm in the clouds. But I've reached a point, Sister Naya, and that's why I want you to reach that point sooner than I did, where I don't really care. I don't care if people think I'm this crazy person or I'm off in La La Land, because that's how, to me, when we put those trees in the back and the red birds came and the blue birds came, that was Allah saying, I approve. Mm-hmm. The squirrels staring at us, the sound quality, that feeling of peace that we felt just coursing through our veins, that was Allah saying, I approve. And maybe no one else thought that. They may have just thought they're beautiful trees and it looks pretty back here. But to me, the beauty says, I approve. And that's what keeps me motivated, because I'm chasing him.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's where we, especially those of us that are creatives, we have to settle in on that kind of thing, because otherwise we just go crazy with so much to do and so much going on. So as a young mogul, how do you deal with your interaction with other people your age? And I'll tell you why. Because I was always the weird one. I was always the one that people kind of thought, no, she's a little special. And I learned to live with that. And I now know that Allah did that because it put me in a position where he could give me unique assignments and unique things to do. And I won't be worried about what other people think. But if I didn't have that history of kind of being the odd person, the different person, I don't think I could handle some of the things that I find when I go looking for him. So I wanted to just understand from you, how are you handling or how do you manage your interactions with other people in your age group?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. That's a really good question. So I'm not necessarily always with people my age, because they graduate a year or two younger than the people I'm in school with. So everybody I'm in class with ranges from like 20 to 26 years old. And so these are the people I'm with Monday through Friday for a couple hours a day. And I guess my interactions with them are based off of what I have learned already so far. Like, I represent myself as a Muslim woman, but not only a Muslim woman in the Nation of Islam, which means that I'm not carrying myself in the fashion that just not regular, but
As other people
in the Nation of Islam, right?
Yeah.
So I have to carry myself in a certain manner with the way that I talk, the way that I dress, the way that I sit at my desk, the way that I drink my water, just like everything. And then my interactions with the people, they go very well. I don't really limit myself when it comes to like my personality or my character. Of course, if I'm talking to a professor, I'm not just going to be all over the place.
Yeah, you know how to express yourself appropriately, right?
Yes, ma'am. I just allow myself to be myself, to truly be myself, because I figure, what am I holding back for? Because I'm not the type of person, I don't curse. I don't just say inappropriate stuff. I think I carry myself in a pretty well manner. And so I just act from my heart while always trying to represent properly.
That's beautiful, and you went exactly where I thought you would go with that, because you're blessed to know yourself, and in being yourself, you will encourage others to know themselves, and in knowing yourself, you can be yourself, and you can be the person that this body of knowledge, these teachings that we have in the Nation of Islam are developing you to be. And I don't think I have to say this to you, but I will. And to everyone listening, these teachings work. They work. And I know that it's hard for a lot of people to believe that. Even sometimes when we have accepted the teachings, when we go out, we think that money is separate from the teachings, business is separate from the teachings, love is separate from the teachings, but it's not. It's all a part of it. And you will grow in astronomical ways, in ways that other people can't even comprehend, where people will look at you and say, how did you do that and where did you come from? as long as you hold on to these teachings. And what does that mean? Not, it doesn't just mean memorizing something and going on about your business. It means what you just said, being the civilized person that we've been taught to be, and then taking it to further levels when you have that basis of knowledge in you, and now you're in a situation that maybe we didn't cover in MGT class, or maybe hasn't been covered at the mosque, but now you know how to conduct yourself because you have a foundation.
Right.
And I'm glad that that's where you went, because that is what I was going to say, that the teachings do work. And never, ever, I don't care what happens, you're young, you're going to have what they call the vicissitudes of life. You're going to meet people, you're going to go places, you're going to do things where the teachings may not be there, or other people who believe like you may not be there. Never let them go. Never, ever let them go. And if you do find yourself in a position where you let go temporarily, always come back. Always come back.
Yes,
And
yes.
you'll be fine. Always. But it works. We've been given something that is so superior that it works so fast and so rapidly that you almost can't see it. Right? It's like a computer. You hit enter, you don't see all the machinations that are happening behind the scenes. When you hit enter, you just see what pops up on the screen that you want, right? Well, the teachings work even faster than that, because our mind travels faster than that. And so the teachings are working so fast and so rapidly that you're blinded to it. Your naked eye cannot see it. And so because your naked eye cannot see how fast the teachings are moving and transitioning and working, that it oftentimes makes people think it don't work. It don't work.
Mm-hmm.
But it's working, and it does. It's just working faster than we can think, and it's working faster than we can see.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're doing a beautiful job at being you.
Praise be to Allah. I mean, who else could I be?
You can be a lot of other things. It's like I told you, you can be what other people think you should be.
Yeah. I used to want to try to fit in, but I realized that that's not for me. That's not for me. Allah created me to be my own individual person. So that's who I am. But
You know what's beautiful is that when I used to try to fit in, and there's been times, even as an adult, where I tried to fit in, it's like Allah wouldn't let me. He either would let the people be like, you don't belong here, you don't fit in. And then they would kind of diss me, or it'd be some situation where I couldn't fit in anyway. That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah. That's true. That definitely happens a lot. But when it comes to the teachings, it really does work. And I realized, not recently, I always knew this, but a lot more recently, how much our people need the teachings and how valuable the teachings are. I was having a conversation with somebody at school not too long ago, a couple of people at school not too long ago, and they were just talking about what we need and how some people have just been showing themselves to be not the greatest. And so every single thing that they said, my response had to do, or it stemmed from the teachings. And I was just like, oh my God, like, we're actually taught that in the Nation of Islam. Like, oh yeah, we do that. Like, and I was just like, oh my God, every single thing that we need as a people, as Black people in America, I was just relating it back to the teachings. Like, oh yeah, we have that. Like, we have our own school. Oh yeah, we have our own farm.
Well, and see, the reason why the world needs people like yourself is because you're an example of that. See, a lot of people can't respond to words. Words don't always teach with everybody. And you can talk to them till you're blue in the face and they don't get it. But when they see it, and they see you, and it's something about your mannerism, your beauty, the way you reflect Allah that captivates them, it will then awaken them to the truth as well. So that's why it's important to be yourself, because you're a walking ministry.
Yes, ma'am. I learned that it's really important to lead by example because I'm gonna use this as an example. Say a mother and her daughter. The mother's like, stop watching TV, go read a book, but the mother's watching TV. Then of course that child is gonna be like, what? No, I'm gonna watch TV too. But when that mother is reading a book and that child sees that mother reading a book, they're like, oh, like I want to read that book too. And that's how I've noticed it is with many other people. Like some sisters, because of the way that I promote modesty, excuse me, because of the way that I promote modesty, have been like, oh my God, like, can you help me find some modest clothes? Or like, I like your style. I like the way you dress. Like, I like that. Like, I'm interested in that because I don't just say modesty. Like, oh yeah, I'm dressing modest.
You just fly, and they end up mimicking you, and they don't even sometimes know what they're doing. You got to make the medicine taste good. Can't just give them. You can't just crush up the pills and hold their mouth open and throw it in there. They're gonna spit it out.
That's so true. But yes, ma'am. That's why I've also made it a mission to I made it a mission of making modesty look good.
Yes.
And that's something that I've really been working on.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's why it's important that we're creating our style, and people see us and see us out there. And again, like I said, I think you're doing a great job with that. And, thank you for being you. And I support you and honor you and all the young moguls out there. I'm here for you. I'm your big sis in the business, in your community. Whatever you need, we'll figure it out. If I don't have it, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So Kodisa is going to reach out to you, and if she doesn't, just remind her to set up your free business coaching session. And if you have any last few words for these last 5 minutes, I'll let you have the floor. And please make sure you let people know how they can get your business information. And let me know when you got some produce, and I'll come and support you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so very much for this opportunity. And my business, again, eProduce, which is short for Eternally Embracing Earth. You can find us on Instagram, follow us on Instagram by searching Eternally Embracing Earth. Just Eternally Embracing Earth as one word. Same thing goes for Facebook. We have a website coming soon. And very soon, on our social medias, we will let everybody know how we can order our fresh produce for the year 2021. 2022.
Okay. Okay. What do you guys have now that we can purchase and support you with?
So right now we don't have anything. We actually gave our produce away for free that we harvested this year. And now we're going into fall. We're just trying to get set up for next year. We're going to start planting some seeds soon. We're planting some garlic this week.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good. I love garlic. I make fresh garlic butter. I love it.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, okay. And so, Sister Naya, I would say that you are a consultant. And if anybody wants to consult you on how to dress more fashionably modest, I'm just making up this business for you, on how to be more stylish and more yourself with your clothing, your dress. She makes jewelry. She probably sells jewelry. She can help you with decorating. Her personality, her authenticity is a consultant that I encourage you to bring on board if you want to do something different in your life.
Thank you, Sister Sajdah.
You're welcome. Listen, let's get together soon. I'll be in touch with you. We'll put something together. We'll do a mastermind dinner or something like that.
Oh, that would be nice. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I love you.
Welcome. I love you more. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for listening and watching the hottest show on IG Live. It's the Mo Today series on Black Muslim businesses. Support my sister at Eternally Embracing Earth. Peace and blessings, everyone. Thank you.